Just want to say Junior is better at predicting. I just have to get it out of the way. So just don't rate our show based on Junior's predictions.
How's it going, people? Welcome to the first episode of the First Two Show. I'm Junior, your host, and this is my co-host, Adrian. Yes, and today we're going to be taking you through a preview of the upcoming Euro 2020 championships. And yes, so we're going to be looking at quite a number of things. So firstly, I'm going to leave it to you, Adrian, to take us through the overview of the entire tournament.
Hey, Junior, and hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. And it's exciting getting ready for the Euro 2020, although in 2021. They were postponed due to COVID. And, man, it's good to be here. We're 3 days, a few days away from the kickoff. And it's exciting times. But anyway, this is the 16th edition of the Euro Championships. And they're celebrating their 60th anniversary. So for that reason, they'll be hosting it across 11 different countries. I think it's the first of any tournament of this magnitude. So they're going to be hosting it in 11 different cities in Amsterdam, Netherlands, at the Johan Cruyff Arena, Olympic Stadium in Baku, Azerbaijan, the Arena Națională in Bucharest, Romania, the Puskás Arena in Budapest, Hungary, the Parken Stadium in Copenhagen, Denmark, the Hampden Park, Glasgow, Scotland, Wembley Stadium, London, England. This is where the final will be held to. The Allianz Arena, definitely the home of football. Let's hope football comes home, eh? Allianz Arena in Munich, Germany. Don't crucify me here. The Christovsk Stadium in St. Petersburg, Russia, and the La Cartuja in Seville, Spain. And lastly, the Stadio Olimpico in Rome, Italy, which was the first game that will be against Turkey and Italy.
Okay, all right. That's thank you very much. Yeah.
And the tournament is 6 groups, each with 4 teams, and the format will be top 2 teams who advance to the knockout stages, and the 4 best third place teams who are also advanced to the round of 16. And from there, what we do, quarters, semis, and the final.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Adrian, for giving us that overview of the tournament. Then, so now we're going to be looking at the groups that we have in the tournament. And starting off with Group A, we've got Italy. Then we also have got Switzerland, Turkey, as well as Wales, with Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. Moving on to Group B. Yeah, it's a good group. Going on to Group B, we've got Belgium, Denmark, Finland, and Russia. It seems like we only have one proper footballing nation in there. In my opinion.
You can't say that.
We'll get into detail.
Fine. Let's move on.
Then Group C, we've got Austria, the Netherlands, Northern Macedonia, and Ukraine. Group D, we've got Croatia, the Czech Republic, England, Scotland. Yeah, then that's it. Then moving on to Group E, we've got Poland, Slovakia, Spain, as well as Ukraine. Is it Ukraine? Because it seems like Sweden. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe we got mixed up with the flags.
Exactly. Yeah, I just realized that I mentioned Ukraine in Group C as well.
Yes.
Then moving on to Group F, and man, this is the group of death. We've got France, Germany, Hungary, and Portugal. And on that, I think it can only be appropriate that we start on Group F. What's your take?
I was about to say, how do you begin with such a group? In fact, we should just have the Euros, and this the only group that we have. We'll be fine. We can go home. I mean, this is
Exactly.
like listen, in terms of depth, the squads from both from the three countries in France, Portugal, and Germany is ridiculous, man. And they've been playing good football, and to me, they're even favorites. And in Portugal, they're defending champions. France is the current world champion. So it's going to be one hell of a group, in my opinion.
It is, Adrian. I totally agree with you on that one. Just looking at the squads, man. For example, you mentioned France. You know, the depth is just too much. Where do you even start?
Out of those
exactly.
In fact, we can give a list of the omissions from the France squad, and those guys can go and compete at the Euro 2020. That's how good that squad is.
Exactly. That's so true. That's so true. Looking at, for example, let's just look at the possible starters, and these are the ones that we think are going to start. We've got the likes of Benzema, who's back into the national team after what was it, 4 or 5 years of exile from the national team.
Yeah,
he's back to it really is. It really is, and he's going to add some much needed firepower, because I am an Olivier Giroud fan, but I don't think that is the type of striker that you can get into the tournament and have him as your main striker. I think he's a good option to bring off the bench, but then I feel like he misses quite a number of chances to have him as your main striker.
But listen, people will always be Giroud doubters. For me, he's my number one starter. Crucify me if you will, but listen, this guy is only behind Thierry in terms of French national team goals, right?
Yes.
He's proven all over, ever since Benzema was dropped, he has proved that he can be the man for the big occasion, except the 2016 final when they were beaten by Portugal. But other than that, he came through for them at the World Cup. He has been delivering through qualifiers. I don't know why people doubt him, but listen, it's good to have Benzema back. No team wouldn't want to have a player of that quality in their squad. So yeah, go on with your possible lineup for France.
My possible lineup for France, for me, I think it's just simple and straightforward. For example, we've got Hugo Lloris in goal. I think that's a given. Then looking at the back four, out. You just had to put that one in here. Then looking at the big four, I'll definitely put Benjamin Pavard as the right back. Then the two centre backs, I would have Raphael Varane. Then alongside him, I would have Kimpembe. Then Fernandes. Then the midfield, well, it depends with the shape that you're going with, but I think I'll just go with the same shape and team that Didier Deschamps has been going with over the past few friendlies. For example, I think he's been with a diamond in midfield. So I think I'll just go with the same with Kante, sitting at the base of the diamond. Yeah. Then I'll have Pogba on one side, then Corentin Tolisso on the other. I'll play Griezmann at the 10. Then I'll have a twin gun of Karim Benzema and the boy wonder, Kylian Mbappe.
Listen, no one can ever fold that squad, man. It is everything that you want. It is a box-to-box midfielder and possibly a Ballon d'Or nominee in N'Golo Kante. It is a quality player who's for the big occasion in Paul Pogba. Tolisso has been elevating his game at Bayern Munich. He has always been a quality player, and at Bayern he's just been flourishing. Griezmann does wonders for France. I don't know why he doesn't replicate that form with Barcelona, but it does wonders. But for France, is good, man. And like you said, that twin partnership up front with Kylian Mbappe and Karim Benzema, I think it would be a dream, man. Because with Benzema, the one thing that I like with him is a fluid player. He can provide assists and he can make and create space for the people around him. So imagine a person like Mbappe getting on to the passes from Benzema and Griezmann. they're going to demolish people.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. And then I think the other thing that separates France, from the other teams, just looking at their possible bench, they've got too much quality on sitting on their benches. For example, Ousmane Dembele, I know he has struggled with injuries at Barcelona, but he's still a very good option off the bench. Kingsley Coman as well, a very good option coming off the bench in the event of injuries, as well as maybe the period that we are living in, the COVID period. Players like Clement Longley, the defender, as well as Jules Kounde, who can come in and do quite a decent job. So yeah, as well as your man Olivier Giroud. Yeah, so I think, yeah, go on.
Definitely, man. It would take a lot for France not to win the European Championships, and having in mind the fact that they lost the last final, they're probably chasing this one hard. Didier Deschamps wants this one more than any other coach, I think, going to the tournament. And it's going to be exciting to see how they manage the players, first of all. Like you said, coming from the COVID experience, a few nights ago, Karim Benzema was injured during a friendly. So you don't want to overuse your players. At the same time, you want to make sure that the best players start every game.
Yeah. So let's move on to Germany now. Let's take a look at Germany. How would you line up with Germany?
Germany, I want to choose the best possible players for me. Firstly, there's no doubt who's going to be in goal. Manuel Neuer, the experience is there undoubtedly, and Joshua Kimmich is good. I want to play him as a fullback. I understand that. I want to play him as a fullback. I understand he's a good midfielder and all that he's been doing, but then for me, having him there, especially in the national team setup, makes sense. And for the CBs, as long as Tony Rodriguez is there, I think they're safe, man. I think they're safe. He played a pitch of a game against Man City, and he found form as the season progressed under Tuchel, and that would be quite a team for me. Going forward, only the mission of Marco Reus, which was understandable, but in going forward, they have a lot of quality too. Did Leroy Sané make the cut?
Yes, he did. He did. I'm not too sure whether he's going to be a starter, but then he did.
Who would you have started in his place in Germany?
It's a tricky one. It depends with the shape that I'm going to be taking or going with if I was Joachim Löw, sorry. But then we've got Serge Gnabry. I think possibly, his only competition, but then they can play on opposite wings as well. So maybe, maybe I would have him in my starting 11, but then I'm not too sure.
Who misses out? And when do you play a person like Kai Havertz? Do you play them on the wing, or do you play them as a 10?
You see, that's the thing with Germany. It's a tricky one. I feel like Havertz has got the odd goal in him, so I think he that X factor. But then we also have Thomas Muller, who can play the same role. He's not as mobile as Kai Havertz, but with Thomas Muller, we've got the experience, we've got the tournament experience, and we've got the goals as well.
And
so I think exactly the leadership as well. Him and Hummels were brought back into the Germany national side for that leadership. So I think you've put me on the spot now. So I don't know. I think based on form alone and how the guys have performed in the Germany national side, I think I would have to go with Thomas Muller based on the experience as well. Kai Havertz, I think he would be a good option coming off the bench.
So maybe one of those guys that comes and change the game midway through.
Yes,
and
I'd like.
And are you starting Timo Werner as your number 9?
I'm going to say something which is very controversial.
Yeah.
For me, and he hasn't been as bad as a lot of people have been saying he has been. I actually think that he's been pretty decent. I know he's a center forward and he's employed to, to score the goals. I feel like that's just the aspect which has been missing lately from his game. But then if you look at his record for the German national team and his former clubs, we can see that, yes, he's going through a rough patch, but then the goals will come. His play has been good, actually. Apart from the goal scoring aspects, he's came up with a number of assists. He's created a number of chances, and yeah, I think his pace has proven to be quite problematic for quite a number of defenses. So for that reason alone, I think I would put him in the starting lineup.
So you have.
How about you?
Definitely, I'm a firm believer in Timo Werner. Listen, he's not your traditional number 9. For that reason, he offers something different. And his ability to drift wide, to give space for people like Serge Gnabry and Leroy Sané to cut inside, either to pass or shoot. So that adds variation to the team setup. You also create space for players like Thomas Muller and Kai Havertz if they do come into the game.
As well as Gundogan, those midfielders who make late runs into the box.
Yes, definitely. So a person with the ability to draw defenders away and give his teammates the chance. He might not necessarily score, but the ability to create with or without the ball is always a good quality in a player. So definitely, I'm starting Timo Werner in my German squad.
Yeah, but then Adrian, with this Germany squad and with this Germany side, do you think they're going to be as good as they are on paper? Because if you look at their past results, ever since they won the World Cup, they haven't really lived up to expectations. Starting from Euro 2016, I think they got knocked out. Was it in the quarter or in the semis? Then the 2018 World Cup was a total disaster for them. Then even as far as the qualifying stages were concerned, they weren't as convincing. So what's your take on this Germany side?
Listen, for me, it's Germany is going through a transition.
Okay.
They're trying to blend the old guard that won them the World Cup in 2014 and the new players that are coming through. It was bound to happen at some point. It's simply a rebuild, if I may say.
Okay.
So for Germany, what's the problem is not the quality of the players, it's not the quality of the manager, not the quality of the football they play. It's only a matter of chemistry, and in taking in mind now that most of these German players are no longer playing, majority of them still do play in Germany, or they played in Germany at some point. But if you look at that 2014 team, the majority was coming from Dortmund and Bayern Munich, and chemistry would come easy to them. There's the same thing with the Spain squad that won the 2010 World Cup. The majority were Barca and Real Madrid players. And chemistry plays a big part, especially to footballing nations with a football identity. They play a brand of football that you have to adapt to. So if the chemistry is there, I think they can reach the expectation that they have. If they only work on the chemistry, and if they finally do gel, there's no stopping Germany.
Okay, all right. On the note of chemistry, I think it's only appropriate that the way I see it, Portugal is one typical example of a team that has got good team chemistry. It's one of the most balanced teams in the tournament. If I was to pick one team which is fairly balanced from the goalkeeper all the way up to the attack, and generally the way that the team plays, I feel like Portugal, they really do have a chance. They really do have a chance. I wouldn't be surprised if they went all the way. Because just looking at the squad itself, we've got quite a number of really good players. Rui Patricio, the goalkeeper, the Wolves goalkeeper, is pretty good. Then the defense, I feel like Ruben Diaz is going to be very, very pivotal in that defense, alongside the experienced Pepe. Then moving on to midfield, it's very, very loaded. Danilo Pereira, we've got the William Carvalhos, Bernardo Silva, then Ruben Neves.
Bruno
Yes.
Fernandes.
I was saving the best for last.
Bruno
Yes,
Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes. Then we all know we've got the CR7 factor. There's the CR7 factor, man. You know, as long as they've got that type of a player, you can never count them out.
You can never. And they will look to him for quality and leadership throughout the tournament. Even if he does not play as much, I feel like the workload might be less for him this tournament. But leadership-wise, they'll look to him. They'll look to emulate his form, his passion on and off the field. It's something that's admirable in him. The passion he brings to the national team. It's going to be a crucial factor in what Portugal going all the way. And like you said, it's a very balanced squad. Looking at it, you can just smile.
Yes, you know, I actually forgot to mention João Cancelo, who's had quite a terrific season at Manchester City.
Yeah. João Cancelo and his ability to play on both flanks, left or right back, that will come in handy for the squad. And you know, up front they have the young Felix. I feel like the boy has a lot to offer. The boy has a lot to offer, and I feel like he'll come through for Portugal. And let me put you on the spot right now, as I often do. Give me your first 11 in such a beautiful squad.
My first 11. Obviously, I would have to go with Rui Patricio in goal.
Definitely.
My right back, I'll definitely have to go for. I'll definitely have to go with João Cancelo.
Mm-hmm.
My two center, Ruben Diaz, as well as Pepe. I feel like his experience will play a massive role in the squad. Then the left back, I think Rafael Guerrero, if that's the correct pronunciation. Is he still a Dortmund? I'm not so sure.
Still a Dortmund.
Yes. Then in my midfield, this is the hard part now. So I think I'm going to have to go with a 4-2-3-1 formation.
Okay.
Defensive midfield, I'd have to go with Danilo Pereira. Then alongside Danilo, you've really put me on the spot here. Alongside Danilo, I think I'll have to go with João Moutinho.
Okay.
Behind the striker, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, no
brainer. But wait. Hey, this is really, really tough now. This is really tough. Then the center forward, I think because of the load management aspect that you've mentioned, I think I'll have to go with Ronaldo there.
Mm-hmm.
On one wing, probably Diego Jota. Then the other one, Bernardo Silva. I think that would be my lineup.
Makes sense. Look, you can never go wrong with this much players.
Yeah.
So it's a question. I hope the viewers will be generous enough to give us their own first 11s in the comment sections, and we'll be really happy to have those. We want to keep the conversation going and flowing, and I hope you guys will be part of it.
Yeah. How about you? Would you make any changes to my starting 11?
Definitely.
And if any, what would you make?
First of all, I'll change the shape.
Okay.
I hope they play diamond.
Okay.
Yeah. The back four, I like it, as well as the goalkeeper. But for me, I'm gonna play William Carvalho at the base of the diamond, and as my 10, I'll put Bruno, and I'm gonna drop Bernardo Silva to play one of those roles in the diamond.
Okay.
Maybe on the right, so that he can assist come play as sort of inverted winger of sorts. But I want him in the midfield. I feel like he has a lot to offer in the midfield than he has on the wing. Of course, he's tricky and has a bit of speed, but then I hope someone tries him out in the midfield, And I'm also going to put João Moutinho also in that midfield diamond. So that's my 4 midfielders. Then up top, I'm going to put Cristiano Ronaldo for the simple fact that it's Cristiano Ronaldo and
the CR7 factor.
Yes, and I'm going to partner him up with Diego Jota or João Felix, and that would be like my starting 11.
I must admit, I'm quite jealous. You know, the shape that you've given looks more, you know, it looks more balanced, especially with the pairs that you've given. So yeah, it's a pretty good 11.
So yeah, Portugal is tantalizing, man. Tantalizing. I can't wait for Group F to start. If I could,
neither.
I would go to one of the matches. It's going to be finals before finals.
Yeah. So let me. It's my turn to put you on the spot now, Adrian.
Yes.
Your final standings for the group. What are they like?
For Group F?
Yes, for Group F.
We should stop this thing of putting each other on the spot.
You started it, man.
Yeah, but then I'm gonna go with France taking top spot, Portugal coming second, and listen to me, Germany is going to progress.
Yeah.
As a best third place team.
Yeah, with that silly rule.
Yes. So they'll probably progress.
I think I can only with. I think one crucial thing in this group is going to be each country's tie against Hungary. These guys, all of these guys, be it France, Germany, as well as Portugal, they need to get the 3 points when they play Hungary. If they don't do that, they're going home. So yeah, I'd only have to agree with you. For me, it's France taking the top spot, Portugal, then Germany will be the best loser in that group. They'll come third, then eventually qualify. So yeah,
let's be impartial. Let's look at Hungary, and wouldn't you want them to upset 1 or 2 in the group and qualify to the next round?
I'd want them to upset Portugal because I don't want. Fan. Yes, I'm a Messi fan. I don't want Ronaldo to win another trophy with Portugal.
Okay,
but then so yeah, I think that's the only change that I would make.
Wow. Okay, fine. I was trying to be impartial. Yeah, seems like Junior can't. But
I'm only being honest.
But in the spirit of the game, it would really be nice if Hungary goes through the group, you know. It would really be a nice underdog stories. And listen, we love underdog stories here on the first 2 show, and we're fully supporting Hungary. Please don't think that because we didn't mention it as much, no. We are friends of Hungary, in fact. I appreciate Junior will be a Hungary supporter when they face Portugal.
Yeah, so that's it for Group F.
Yes.
Let's go on to look at Group A. I feel like it's one other tricky group, you know, because most of the teams, maybe not most, but 3 of the 4 teams that are in that group.
No, wait. All of the teams that stand a fair chance, in my opinion.
Yes, all of them do stand a fair chance, right? But then I feel like Italy has got a little bit of more quality as compared to the other 3. I'm not dismissing any one of the 4 or any one of the other 3 teams that I had mentioned earlier on. But for me, I feel like Italy has got more quality as compared to the other 3. But then as for Switzerland and Wales, any one of those teams can progress. That's what I was saying.
I'm surprised by you. How can you leave out Turkey?
Turkey is really good.
Yeah.
But then I was saying, my point was Italy, I think, is the best one out of the 4. That was my point.
Okay, let's agree. Italy will probably take top spot.
Yes, that was exactly my point. Because I think that top spot is guaranteed for Italy. Anything but top spot is a disaster for Italy.
Okay, so the logical thing would be Italy takes top spot.
Yes.
And the other 3 teams better out for the 2nd and 3rd place, potentially?
Yes.
So who are you having as your second and third? So you said Switzerland and Wales.
No, this is how I'm going. Italy first position.
Mm.
The second place, I'll have to give it to Turkey. I feel like Turkey is a more balanced team. I feel like they're not reliant on one player, as for example, maybe Wales, who are more reliant on Gareth Bale and
Tottenham.
Aaron Ramsey. Can you stop with all that Tottenham stuff, right? Yes. So for me, it's Italy, Turkey. Switzerland has shown in the past that they can play amongst the big boys. They can handle the pressure and all. I feel like Switzerland will grab the third spot. Then, unfortunately, Gareth Bale, the former Tottenham man, and the former Guna and Aaron Ramsey will have to go home. That's how I see things.
Yeah, okay, fine. Now I can agree with you. But all I'm going to say is the group is going to be very close. I foresee a dog-eats-dog situation for the rest of the three teams. So maybe each team gets a win, or each team is there with a draw. I see statistics, being the one that differentiate the teams, goals for, goals against, that sort of stuff. It's going to be very tough for the remaining three teams. So yeah, I'm going to go with Italy first, Switzerland second, because they've Shed and Shaqiri. And lastly, I'm going to go with Turkey to make it. Wales, unfortunately, I feel they'll have a good run, but not that good to take them to the next round.
All right. Then going on to Group B, we've got Belgium, Denmark, Finland, and Russia. How do you see that group panning out?
It's pretty similar to Group A. They have one top dog, which is Belgium, and three teams that may put. All right, maybe Finland might be.
Yeah, I think too.
Finland is a minnow, but in Russia and Denmark, those are good teams that have good players. Russia is
pretty
Russia always gets the results. They might not play the most attractive football like during the World Cup, but they got the results with people like Cheryshev, Zuba. Yeah, they'll get the results. And with Denmark, they have a good squad. Christiansen just won the Serie A with Inter.
Oh.
Yes, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, all those good players. So they have a chance. So I might put Russia as a best loser. Let me mark it in my book. Russia might come through as a best loser, but then I'm having Belgium and Denmark qualifying.
Okay. For me, I think it's pretty straightforward. For me, Belgium is going to be the number one. Number two is going to be pretty straightforward as well. I think it's Denmark. I think Denmark has got a little bit of more quality, with the players that you've mentioned, the Christiansens, the Kasper Schmeichels, and all, Then so I think they'll claim the second spot. Then Russia will be third. Then unfortunately for Finland, that have to anchor the group.
At least they came.
Unless what? Sorry, I didn't quite get you.
At least they came.
Oh yeah, at least they managed to qualify. Yeah. Then moving on to groups. Group C, we've got Austria, the Netherlands, Northern Macedonia, and Ukraine. For me, for me, I think this group has got it's got one traditional powerhouse in the Netherlands. It's not as great as it used to be, but then I feel like they've got enough to get them out of that group. Then Austria has got decent players. David Alaba. I think they'll also have enough in the tank for them to get out of this group. Northern Macedonia, I'm sorry, I think it's just Finland 2.0. I think they would be lucky if they were to get a single point from this group. Then Ukraine, I think Ukraine will be third. So for me, it's it's simple. Netherlands, Austria, Ukraine, then Northern Macedonia.
Okay. I have no qualms here. It's the same. It's a pretty straightforward group, in my opinion, given that Netherlands play their cards right. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward group.
Yeah, it is. Then moving on to Group D, we've got Croatia, the Czech Republic, England, and Scotland. I feel like this is another tricky group. What's your take?
It is. Let's not forget Croatia beat England in the semifinals of the World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel those two better out for the top spot.
Yeah.
Czech Republic, it'll be good. They have a good squad. It's a good team, but then I don't think they have enough in the tank for both Croatia or England. So maybe they'll come.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll. Scotland too. Listen, Andrew Robertson.
Yeah. Kieran Tierney, the Ghana as well.
Kieran Tierney.
Yes, Shea Adam. John Mc. Yeah, they've got a pretty decent squad. So
you know what?
But
you know what? Scotland might give England a run for their money.
You know what? This is my take as far as England is concerned. I think any team in the world can give England a proper run for their money, only because of their manager or their head coach. I think he's a bit too conservative, so he gives the opponent a chance. That's how I see it. So I wouldn't dismiss your point that Scotland will give England a proper run for their money.
I'm thinking Scotland, of course, what you said with Gareth Southgate being conservative, it has worked for him so far. He has kept his job through the World Cup, and now this is the second tournament. But for the simple fact that the Scots are, some of their players know these England guys a lot. So you got Andrew Robertson from Liverpool, you got John McGinn from Aston Villa, Shea Adams from Southampton. Yeah, so Scotland, for the simple fact that they might know England in and out, they'll definitely give England a run for their money. But if England is cursed in this tournament, man. But if England plays their cards right, they're going to qualify second.
All right. Okay. Who's going to be
Croatia?
All right. I feel like Croatia's midfield can hold their own against any team, even against the favorites in France and in Germany. Yes. In Marcelo, Luka Modric as well as Kovacic. I know Rakitic is retired from international football, but I feel like as long as they can dominate that midfield, they can hold their own against pretty much everyone or anyone.
Definitely, I'm gonna have, maybe it's me taking caution. I don't want to get hit when England qualifies second, so I'm gonna say they're going to qualify second.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but then Croatia for me is going to be first. England second, because I feel like England will be under a lot of pressure somehow, so they might fall under the pressure, but England might qualify second. Czech third, Scotland, although they have a good squad, I'm going to have them as fourth.
All right. For me, I think the only change I would make is first. For me, I think England will have enough to top the group. Then, because I haven't been really impressed by Croatia since the 2018 World Cup. So for me, it's England, Croatia second, then Scotland, then unfortunately, the Czech Republic coming in last.
Okay.
Yes. Then Group E, Poland, Slovakia, Spain, and Sweden.
I'm going to have Spain first.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that there's Spain and they have a good. I like the manager. Luis Enrique. Yeah, he's a very charismatic coach, and I feel like he can deliver the goods for them. Poland second, no brainer. Slovakia and Sweden
Yeah.
are better down for the third and fourth spot. And I feel that's how the group is going to end.
All right. Okay. Then we've already discussed Group F. You earlier on, I remember you mentioned the format of the tournament. How many number threes are going to be able to qualify for the round of 16?
So number threes are going to qualify. So,
okay. So
yes.
for you, who are going to be those teams?
It's tricky. It's
Yeah.
tricky because it's a loser's game now. It's a loser's game. So who will be the best loser? Definitely Germany might qualify as a third, as a best loser, given that they get a good result against Hungary. You know, so they'll need to as much goals as possible.
Yeah.
Plus,
So we've got Germany.
Germany for me, Switzerland in Group A.
Yes.
Russia in Group B. And one more, right? One more. I'm gonna between maybe Scotland in Group D.
All right. I totally agree with you on every single one. So yeah, I think we're pretty much the same. Yeah. So let's talk about your favorites as far as the entire tournament is concerned. Maybe we're repeating a bit, but then now that we've discussed all of the groups, who are your favorites? Who are your tournament favorites, and why?
Well, for my tournament favorites, I'm gonna have Belgium.
All right.
Belgium.
Okay.
I'm gonna have France. Portugal. And listen to me. In Germany, although they qualified third, the best third team, they will make a run for the final. Belgium, the number one team in the world. They have a good squad. Eden Hazard, Thibaut Courtois, Axel Witsel. They have a good squad. So they are favorites in my books. They just need to show up at big tournaments going forward. This take of always being the world's number one team and not delivering at tournaments must be frustrating, and maybe they want to shake the boogie now. And hopefully for them, this is their time. France, they're the defending world champions, and they have a good squad. So I have them there as a favorite. Germany, like I said, they have a good squad. They have an identity, a non-brand of football and a system. If the chemistry works, they're going to make a run for the final. Lastly, I have Portugal, the defending champions. They've CR7, possibly one of the goats of football in their squad.
One of.
Yes, I don't want to be controversial here. One of the goats of football in their squad. They have a good squad. The players that have been in form. And look, they will try to emulate Spain and defend their title. Those are my favorites.
All right. Going back to Belgium, Adrian, do you think that this is the last opportunity that this so-called golden generation for Belgium? Do you think that this is their last opportunity, to bring something home, to deliver silverware? Because, for example, going into the 2014 World Cup, they were seen as one of the favorites. Same thing applied in the 2016 Euros. Same thing applied in the 2018 World Cup. Then in all of those tournaments, they just didn't have that final spark that would take them over the line and to the next stages. Do you think that this is the final their final opportunity for this so-called golden generation for Belgium?
I won't say final. I'll say one of the last chances, because I think they were given a lifeline when the Euros were pushed to this year. Next year we have a World Cup around the same time, is it? you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So
Correct.
it's only if they can manage to keep their players for a few more months, 12 or so months, and they manage to qualify for the World Cup. But yes, time is running out for this so-called, no, not so-called generation, for this golden generation. It is a golden
Yeah.
generation. They have the players, they have the talent. I just feel like it's now a question of mentality to
Mhm.
say we've been at this stage before with the same resources that we have. Can we now utilize them? And I think Belgium lacks a player like Cristiano Ronaldo, a winner,
Okay. All right.
someone to take the reins when the team is down.
Okay.
They have talented players, but then they don't have players that with a winning mentality. Players that will make a coach like Jose Mourinho happy, players
Okay.
that will do anything to get the win. But if they can work on their mentality, this
All right.
this might just be the this might just be the
For me, Adrian, it's less of a mentality thing, but more of a fitness thing as far as this Belgium side is concerned. You know, because looking at all their big players, the stars, we've got Kevin De Bruyne. We're not so sure whether or not he's going to be able to play the first two games. Because of the thing that he sustained in the Champions League final. Then Eden Hazard, at Real Madrid, things haven't been going well for him. It's just been injury after injury. Then yes, those two main stars, as well as Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku has been pretty good as far as the fitness is concerned. But I feel like they need those other two stars in Eden Hazard as well as Kevin De Bruyne to give them a proper shot, at having a deep run in this tournament. So if their main stars can stay fit, I think Belgium have a proper shot just as much as anyone. So for me, it's more of a fitness thing. Yeah.
Oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. And what do
Yeah.
you think of? Who do you have done as your favorites? Did I ask you?
My favorite. No, you hadn't. My favorite. I think it only makes sense if we have to. I think it only makes sense to include France in this conversation. We've mentioned earlier on, the squad depth is just unreal. I think they've got the tournament experience. The 2016 Euros. They still have the very same coach. I think since 2013, 2014, somewhere there. Then the squad depth is just too much. Not just squad depth, but then they've got too much quality, both in the starting 11 as well as coming off the bench. Then Germany is Germany. You can never count those guys out. As far as, for example, the mentality is concerned, then even as far as the quality is concerned, both in the starting 11 as well as coming off the bench. So those two, I feel like, are the outright favorites. Then I would not France and Germany, those two. But then I would not count out quite a number of teams. Portugal, because of the Ronaldo effect, as well as, the squad in general. It's a pretty balanced squad. And I feel like this is one of the few teams, in the tournament that actually play as a team. And I feel like in tournament football, that plays a pivotal role, as far as the progress of your team is concerned. So far I've mentioned Germany, France, Portugal. I feel like Gareth Southgate, if he's not too cautious, I feel like England stand a pretty good chance. I think the quality is there. I just feel like the way that he's going to set up his teams is going to determine where the team is going to end up. So those are the outright favorites for me. Belgium also has a pretty good. But I say, sorry,
Junior.
yeah,
wait, Junior.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say this. You kept saying Gareth Southgate is playing conservatively, right? So
Yeah.
give me your first 11. That won't be so conservative. Give me an attacking England 11.
In attacking England 11, this is how I set up my team.
Yes.
First and foremost, I would not go with Jordan Pickford in goal. I just don't trust him. I don't think he's consistent enough. So for that reason alone, I have to go with Jordan Henderson.
Dean Henderson.
No, Dean Henderson. Yeah, Dean Henderson.
Okay.
Yeah, then right back, Reece James for me, I think is I think is the full package, is the modern day right back. You know, he can attack, he can defend as well. So Reece James for me, two centre backs, provided everyone is fit and injury free. I'll have to go with John Stones and Harry Maguire. Then, as far as the left back spot is concerned, I feel like the left back position will only go down to, you know, to preference. I feel like both in Luke Shaw as well as Chilwell, both of them are pretty good. But personally, given the season that they've both been having, I'll have to go with Luke Shaw. I think he's had a pretty good season. Then this is where it becomes interesting for me now.
Yes.
In midfield, I'll go with basically my shape would be a 4-3-3 with one sitting midfielder, deep lying midfielder, and that would be Declan Rice. Then two of my central midfielders with a bit of a free roll. I'll have to go with Mason Mount. I don't think I can leave him out given the season that he's been having. Then I'll also have to put in Jack Grealish. I think Jack Grealish has to be in every single England 11. Staying on the midfield part,
Yes.
I feel like Gareth Southgate, you know, I think he exposed himself. You know, he makes pretty questionable choices as far as, you know, his team selections are concerned. You know, I feel like England are a bit short as far as that deep lying or central midfielder is concerned. Because if we look at, for example, Grealish, Mason Mount, those are, you know, forward-minded midfielders. But anyway, back to my starting 11. I'd say Declan Rice as the deep-lying midfielder, Jack Grealish, as well as Mason Mount. Up top, it's a no-brainer, Harry Kane. Then on the left-hand side, I would have to go with Phil Foden, which leaves the right wing position pretty open for everyone. I feel bad, you know, for leaving out Marcus Rashford. But if he can play on the right wing, I think I'll be able to put him in my starting 11, given his tournament experience. And I feel like he's one of the unsung heroes for his club, you know, at Manchester United. So I think that would be my 11. So my front three would be Harry Kane, Phil Foden on the left, then Marcus Rashford on the right.
Okay, makes sense.
How about you? You're questioning my lineup. How would you set them up?
I want results, firstly. And if he's been getting results, let Gareth play the way you guys want to play. But yeah, everyone wants to see some attacking football from England, because they do have the squad, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll basically set up my big four is the same.
Mm-hmm.
If Trent was fit, I'll probably choose Trent over Reece James. Purely for the fact that I love the way Trent handles dead ball situations, from corner kicks to free kicks. Is an added advantage in the team. Defending is not. It's not the worst. It's not the worst defender. So I would take it.
I think it's decent enough, you know.
Yes. So
as far as defense,
I would take Trent over Reece James. I would love to see Reece James come in for a few minutes or against the weaker side, definitely. But then my main man would be Trent, and maybe Kyle Walker to come and Kyle Walker for me would come in when we want to tie up the game, or, you know, shut the back door when we have the result already. But then I'll definitely go with Trent. That's the only change I'm making the back four.
Yeah.
I would also play them in a 4-3-3 with a deep lying midfielder to screen the CBs, and you want probably be a playmaking deep lying player. So I'll go for Declan Rice too. I feel like he has age on his side compared to Jordan Henderson, right? And he's probably fitter.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say.
Yes, he's probably fitter than Jordan Henderson. And he has played a blind of a season for West Ham, you know, taking them up to sixth. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's my CDM.
Yeah.
For my midfield
Getting
two,
tough, right? It's tough.
for my midfield two, listen,
Yeah.
Jack really should start more often in England, right? But for me, I'll play the young ones. Okay, Jack Grealish is also young, but then for me, the upcoming stars in Mason Mount and Phil Foden, I'll start with those.
Okay, so you put in
I'll put
midfield.
Foden in midfield. He can play that role. For me, I don't see why not he can play that role. So the two CMs for me is Phil Foden and Mason Mount. I really want to see how a partnership between those two will unfold. You know, they're dynamic, they can pass the ball, they can dribble, they're willing to work hard for the team. The work rate is unbelievable, right? Front three, definitely. Captain Kane, a Tottenham. Yes.
I'll let you have that one.
Harry Kane, definitely. It'll be interesting to see how you flourish in a team where he doesn't have to create a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Then he also have to, to drop so deep into midfield like he does for Tottenham,
Yes.
So he can concentrate on positioning himself in and around the penalty box. Yeah.
Yeah. So it will be interesting to note how you adapt, or you will continue playing the way he's been playing Tottenham, and instead of him feeding Son, you'll be feeding the others. For me, Marcus Rashford is an unbelievable player. He should be the one starting on the left wing.
Okay.
You know, even though I have everything against Manchester United, he should be playing from the left. The right wing, like you said, is contentious for everyone can get a sport. You have players like Jordan
Sancho.
Jadon Sancho. Greenwood withdrew from the squad, right? Bukayo Saka is still there. I feel like you can play on the right.
The Arsenal man.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like we can also give but what if, okay, hear me out. Oh yeah, there's still Sterling, huh? There's still Sterling that can play on the right wing. But what if England play a diamond?
Okay. And how would you set up that diamond?
Same back four. Declan Rice is the best of the diamond. The two flanking midfielders, Mount and Foden, right? Up top on the number 10, Grealish 10. Up in front, Kane and Rashford, or Kane with Sterling, Kane with Sancho.
For me, I think I feel like the best lineup for England would probably be that diamond. But then the only changes that I would make to that diamond, rather than having Phil Foden in the team, I think I would only have to drop him to the bench. So I'll have Jack Grealish sitting in the 10. Then the two strikers, I'll have Harry Kane, obviously. Then the other one, Marcus Rashford.
Right. So who would you replace Foden with as a flanking midfield?
As a flanking midfielder, Foden. Wait, I've said Declan Rice at the base of. Then I've got Mason Mount there. Then wait, what am I saying? Oh, then I'll add Jude Bellingham on the other side of the diamond.
What? Oh,
exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So I'd have to add
Makes sense.
Bellingham.
Makes sense. Yes. Makes sense. Didn't see that.
So if I was going with the diamond, that's how I'd line up.
So are you going to trust a 17-year-old in the final of the Euros?
Not so much. Probably maybe when I played the last group games, when the group is done and dusted, I'll give him, a run in the team. But then going deeper and deeper into the tournament, I'm not taking anything away from him. But then I think I would have to go with the other guys, Yes. But then I would go with the 4-3-3. I was just giving you the scenario as far as the diamond is concerned.
Okay. So where's Sterling on all your plans? You mentioned in the 4-3-3, you left him out. In the diamond, you left him out.
I like Sterling as a player, but then based on his stats and the way he's been playing over the past season, he hasn't really reached Sterling heights. So based on merit alone, and based on form, I wouldn't put him in either of my starting 11s. But he's a very good player. I'd give him, I'd make him, make an impact off the bench, then prove his way into the starting 11.
How do you manage a player like Harry Kane? He's come off a grueling season at Tottenham where he had to do a lot. He had to assist, he had to create, he had to score.
Yeah.
You don't want him injured. He has an ankle problem that's been nagging him for the longest time. Do you manage him or do you let him play throughout the tournament?
I feel for me, I think the key in managing players like Harry Kane is all around the manner in which Gareth Southgate is going to, to set up his teams. For example, I feel like if he goes with the 3-4-3 formation, I think that Harry Kane, to do a whole lot more. And that, that leaves him, prone to quite a number of injuries. For example, the ankle problem that you've been saying. But where Gareth Southgate to go with the 4-3-3, I feel like, Harry Kane will have more help. And that way, maybe let's say the team is more attacking, maybe, and they have the game wrapped up by, the 70th minute. I'll then substitute him, bring on someone like Dick. Not Sterling. I'll give Dominic Calvert-Lewin a run as well. So I think my management of Harry Kane is based on the way the team is going to be set up.
Okay.
How would you manage him?
I won't manage him. Let Harry Kane be Harry Kane. I know this is a Tottenham fan, right?
Yeah.
You will try. Harry Kane will push to play every single game, even if he's 85% fit. Case in point, the 2019 Champions League final. Was it 19? 20? The one that we lost to Liverpool.
2019.
2019 final, right? He just returned from injury.
Yeah.
There were doubts that he was going to play, but as soon as the medical personnel said, Harry Kane was in the starting lineup.
But then Adrian, he didn't really play so well in that game. I'm not so sure if Liverpool was that good or it was all based on injury that he was coming off.
That's what I'm saying. Harry Kane will push to play even if 1, 2 is going to be the captain. So even if it's the slightest, if it's fit even the slightest way, he will push to play. So I'll let Harry Kane be Harry Kane. You do him. I don't see him sitting on the bench. I don't see him sitting on the bench one bit throughout the tournament.
Yeah, by managing him, there's no way I'm going to ever go with an 11 without Harry Kane, unless the group is done and dusted, like I was saying. But then by management, talking about the load that he has during the game, I wouldn't want him to drop into midfield. I'll just want him to concentrate on on finishing what the rest of the team would have started. Focusing in and around the penalty box. That's why the setup of the 11, like I had said earlier on, is very, very pivotal as far as the management of Harry Kane is concerned for me.
So if we put enough players that can create, they won't put too much pressure on Harry Kane to come back, drop deep and stuff. Makes sense.
Exactly. So if you've got a Jack Grealish and a Mason Mount in midfield, there's no need for you to make Harry Kane drop down into midfield. That's my point.
Definitely. And let's move on. Huh?
Yeah. So going on to, we've mentioned the favorites. Who are the dark horses for you in this tournament?
I have 3 teams down as my dark horses.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
hear them.
I have Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a good squad. They're consistent. They have a good manager in what's his name? Roberto Mancini. Yeah. So they might just, pull one of us all and come through. They'll probably have an easy group. Well, relatively easy group, so that will give them enough time to rest the key players and have them fit for the knockout stages. So Italy is one of my dark horses. I also have England is a dark horse for me because in as much as there's so much hype and surrounding England, they are never the team. They are the team to football to English people because English people are that invested into football, but they are never the team. They have a good squad, but they are never the team. I don't feel like they're in the favorites column. They're in the dark horse column because they have a good squad and they are exposed each and every day by the media. That's the nature of the English squad. So I have them as a dark horse. If they do manage to win the championship, it won't be a surprise per se. But then I don't really see them going all the way. And lastly, I have Netherlands, simply because it's Netherlands and they have some good years, they have some good players right now. They might just, and it's tournament football. It's not always the best schedule that wins, but then they're most efficient. So if they're efficient, they might go all the way.
Yeah, that's true. For me, the dark horses, I can only agree with you. Italy, they're up there. I feel like they've got a good blend of youth and experience. They've got two world-class centre backs in Giorgio Chiellini as well as Leonardo Bonucci. Their midfield is pretty much world-class for me. We've got Marco Verratti, we've got Jorginho. Yes, exactly. So we've got Chiesa as well, who's been one of the few shining stars in that Juventus season off the back end of such a terrible season. So I feel like we've got a good blend. Then looking at the forward players as well, Ciro Immobile, Insigne, they've got the quality. They've got Belotti, whether they use him as a wing or coming off the bench, I think they've got the quality, and I wouldn't be surprised if Italy go all the way.
Yeah, definitely. So Italy is the only dark horse for you?
For me, yes. But then the way I'm categorizing, my teams is all based on what exactly we're looking at. England, for me, it's all about the setup. The setup will determine, in which category they're going to fall or fall under. If he's conservative, I feel like they won't really go anyway. But so if he's more conservative, I feel like they might be a dark horse. But then if he plays expansive football, I think they're one of the favorites.
Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
So for me, that's pretty much it as far as the dark horses are concerned.
Well, we agree. Yeah. So you're not having Netherlands anywhere near the title?
I don't think so. I think it's a bit too early. I think the Netherlands are on the up. I think they're regaining, their form and they're coming back up. They're on the up again. But I feel like the injuries haven't done them justice.
Yeah.
To Van Dijk, as well as, Jasper Cillessen testing positive. Then going forward, I'm not so sure if they've got too much or if they've got enough. I know Memphis Depay is good.
Yeah.
Then we've got Allen. Then Donny van de Beek dropped out of the squad as well. So I think they won't have enough, to take them as far. I think they'll have enough to get them out of the group stage. But then I think quarterfinal would be, the deepest that they can go.
Oh. So let's say, Junior, I know for the people that watched our pilot episode, that Junior's baby predictions, he got 2 out of 2 wrong.
Oh, you're saying it's Junior now. Yeah, did you get them correct?
Moving on. So who do you have as the ultimate team? Who do you think will lift the Euros 2020? Give me one. So that we end the show. Yes, so that we end the show.
I think it's a tough one, Adrian. It's a really, really tough one, But for me, I'm just going to be so random as far as this is concerned. I'm going to go with Italy.
You know, people won't rate our show if you keep making wrong predictions, right?
No, I'll just have to go with Italy, man. Because the thing with the other favorites, you know, yes, they are favorites for a reason, but then I think I'll just go with Italy. I think they got a bit of balance to them. You know, I think they've lost only 2 games over the past 2-3 years, and I think I like their manager as well. I think the what I've mentioned earlier on, they've got a good blend of youth and experience. Then they also have a good manager. Then their form is pretty impressive as well. I think, like I mentioned earlier on, they've only lost 2-3 games. So I'll go with Italy. You know, why not?
I'm just gonna say France. It's a logical thing to do, please. But
Going with the obvious.
yeah,
You remember that. That's what you did as well, as far when we analyzed the Europa League final as well as the Champions League
I'm
final.
not to blame for Manchester United's shortcomings.
But okay, yeah, you're going with the easy bits.
It's France's time. They've Ngolo. Everyone likes Ngolo Kante. They've Loris. Okay, they've everyone. You know, they have everyone. And for me, France are going to win unless something stupid happens.
Yeah.
Unless something ridiculous, something unexpected happens. But France, I have them down as my D team to win. So yeah, I guess I hope we get a France Italy final, like the 2006 World Cup.
Yeah, that would be a good final.
Yeah, so that you can really see who's who in terms of predictions. And
now, as far as predictions, then it's still 0-0. We both go the 2.
No one is keeping score.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Okay. So thank you very much for tuning in for another episode. This is the official first episode of the first 2 show. And listen, we'd love to hear what you guys have to say. We'd love to hear your commentary. Like we said in the pilot show, this is just a platform for us, normal fans, to comment and have our own views on football. So if you guys want to, we ask you guys to comment in the comment section. Tell us what you guys think. Tell us your favorites. Tell us why your dark horse. Put in those predictions. Let's keep the conversation going. It would only make it interesting for us. And we hope that you'll be with us throughout the tournament and throughout the Euros. But then, man, it's been a pleasure. And until next time, yeah?
Cheers, Adrian.